Hi guys, how are you guys doing? I just want to say that I am in so much better of a mood. I feel so happy. Don't mind my messy dresser, by the way. I feel so happy. I feel so honored. I feel so relieved, and I'm just going to say I thank all of you guys who uplifted me yesterday. Thank you guys so much. Okay? Not just you guys, but last night God uplifted me. He encouraged me, and my kingdom husband uplifted me and encouraged me. And so much things was revealed to me last night. But sometimes I'm always okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys go through a situation where like you can see a lot of things when it pertains to like others and like uplifting others, encouraging others, but when it comes to yourself, it's like hit or miss. It's like, God, what you trying to say? When it comes to your own life, it's like you're not really seeing the revelations the way you're supposed to see it. But when it comes to everybody else, it's like you're on it. It's like, right? And that is because when it comes to your own life, the enemy will try to prevent you from seeing things about yourself, seeing things about your life, seeing upcoming things relating to breakthroughs and blessings, because he wants to keep you stuck. He wants to keep you stagnant. He wants to keep you in confusion, right? But here's the thing. When you know God's voice, when you know that still voice, and you know when God is speaking, it's like that will erase all confusion. That will erase all pain. You know what I'm saying? And last night, it was like there was a battle between good and evil last night. And I felt it in the spirit, and I could see it in the spirit. And I can see how God was like in the battle, encouraging me, showing me things that I need to see about myself and what's upcoming for me. But then at the same time, I was able to see how like the enemy's really trying to prevent me from receiving the information at the same time, because I was able to see the battle. So I don't want to go into full detail, but my kingdom husband came in and he was, prophesying to me as well. And I just got so much encouragement last night, and also from you guys. And I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for encouraging me and for changing my new year, as in like turning it from being really sad and really crazy to helping God encourage me into seeing the positives of it. Because I'm going to go into the word, but I'm going to say this before I go into the word. This word may not be for everybody. This is not going to be a word for everybody. This is going to be a word for those who understand me, who understand what I'm going through, because they're going through the same thing. And oftentimes what God will do is he will allow us to go through certain things, and we'll learn from it. We'll gain wisdom from it. And then we will also share that wisdom and that experience with other people to help encourage them who are going through it as well. For instance, a lot of the witchcraft attacks I went through in my life, the things that people tried to do to me behind the scenes, I gained wisdom from all the attacks. I gained wisdom on symptoms and certain things that happen in the spirit, because I've experienced it, because I've been through it. You get what I'm saying? So because of that wisdom, that's my main focus with my ministry, is to teach you guys about certain things pertaining to that, to help you guys move forward as well, right? So I'm going to say the word is not going to be for everybody. It's only going to be for a certain group of people. And here's how you'll know it's for you. Because God, you know how God works. Like he would have already mentioned something similar to this, or he will show you the same similar things, okay, in the spirit, okay? I'm not talking about you just thinking about it in your head. I'm talking about you're hearing his voice, or he is showing you something in a vision, or he's showing you a dream, or he is showing you something of the supernatural to let you know, like, okay, this can't be made up. I know I heard from God. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to say that the Lord showed me last night, he literally showed me a pregnant woman, and he said, you're due, as in like, it's time. So when he showed me that, he was also showing me a bunch of other things that were going on behind the scene. And he showed me the spirit of Jezebel, how the spirit of Jezebel, remember, the spirit of Jezebel was trying to suppress Elijah. The spirit of Jezebel was trying to manipulate Elijah. The spirit of Jezebel was trying to prevent people from receiving from Elijah. And the spirit of Jezebel is causing a lot of corruption and chaos, right? So that spirit has been rampant for like the last week and a half. Okay, like, when I mean, for the last 2 months, God has given me specific instructions, and he has told me, I'm going to be sending you here, and I'm going to need you to bless this person, that person, that person. Like, God had me literally blessing people to the point where I was pouring so much of myself to people in many areas, to the point where there was times I was drained, I was tired, and I'm still pouring myself to people. Like, I'm giving myself to people. You see what I'm saying? And there was times where I was like, okay, I'm a sacrifice what I'm supposed to do here with my income, and I'm gonna give my income to this person, that person, that person, that person. So I was blessing people for the last 2 months, right? And these were specific instructions that he gave me. And I know you're not supposed to tell people when you do blessings and all that, but I'm using this as a learning experience, okay? And to teach you guys something. So I was obedient. That was my test. Because I could have been like, no, God, I'm about to go on a vacation. I ain't blessing nobody. I'm going on my next vacation. I'm not doing this. You get what I'm saying? I could have said all of that, but I was obedient. And I had no problem being obedient because that's naturally how I am. I have a big heart. You know what I mean? Even if I do like coaching sessions, sometimes I'm sitting on the phone with people for an extra 20, 30, 40 minutes because my heart is big. When we're talking about something and I want to help you, I'm going to try to help you the best way I can. That's how I am. But I was draining myself doing a lot of things for people. And at the end, God told me, okay, now it's time to rest. So during my resting period, when it's like, okay, it's time for me to celebrate my family, you know, it's time for me to do Christmas and everything with my family because I have children. And I want Christmas for me is not just about, it's not about celebrating God's birthday because we all know God wasn't born on Christmas. It was about the history and it's about giving back. It's about celebrating my family, giving my kids the life I never had. So I was excited about that. But instead of getting things prepared on Christmas Eve, I spent Christmas Eve driving around the city in my car, bringing gifts to everybody that I haven't seen in a long time. And that was something that God specifically told me to do. Okay, so Christmas Day now, I stayed up all Christmas Eve night and Christmas Day. So I haven't slept in like 48 hours because I'm entertaining everybody. I'm giving to everybody. I'm hosting. I'm doing everything I have to do to make everybody happy, take care of my kids, my family, etc. So it's been 48 hours now from Christmas Eve and Christmas, and I haven't even slept. Okay, and I'm tired, but I'm making sure everybody's good. And right after that, it was like deception after deception after deception after deception. I noticed that the spirit was going on a rampage where a lot of people started contacting me and just saying things about my past. And I noticed that a lot of people were mixing the truth with lies. And I'm like, wow, look at how many people are talking about my past. And we're literally about to enter the new year. And everyone's talking about my past for some reason. And a lot of it is rumors mixed with some truth. I'm like, why is this happening right now? I'm like, everyone's so focused on that and not focused on the fact that I spent my whole Christmas Eve trying to make sure everybody was happy and trying to be there for people. Everyone was focused on the wrong things and trying to put me down for being nice, right? So then it went from that to going into the new year. I felt like it was not over. I just felt like, oh my gosh, something else is going to happen. I'm not sure what it is. And then a whole person came on YouTube, made a whole video about me and some other woman. And it was based on subscribers asking about me or whatever. And we all know YouTube is messy. When people are in the comment sections, what do you think about this person, that person? We already know that's a doorway to gossip, slander, chaos. That's a doorway. Every content creator knows this. Right? So the fact that people were entertaining that and willing to speak on me and speak on my past and mixing truth with a lie and twisting it to manipulate people, I was like, okay, God, what is going on? Because there's so much things going on. And I'm like, why does this keep happening? Like, this is like a whole week where everyone's doing the same thing. It's like everyone's doing the same thing. There's a specific spirit that's operating. What's going on? Because I'm noticing everyone is doing the same thing. There's some sort of control, manipulation, mockery, and everyone's playing in my face. I'm like, what kind of spirit is this? And last night he showed me it's the spirit of Jezebel. And he told me Elijah. And he said to me, that's horrible. Like, he literally, when I asked him, like, so why is people doing this? He said, it's horrible. And then he said, envy. And then he said, push. Then he said, you're due. So I said, okay. This morning I woke up like, okay, this is a word for me. This is not a word for everybody else. And he told me, no, you have to share this because you're not the only one that's due right now. There's many other people who are due in this season. And You have to remember something. When God says it's due, he's talking about the analogy of a pregnant person, a pregnant woman. If you guys know something about a pregnant woman, you have to remember something. When a woman is pregnant, throughout her pregnancy, she's going to have ups and downs. There's going to be times where she has morning sickness. She doesn't want to get out of bed. She's extremely fatigued. She's extremely tired, etc. A lot of that is what we experience with the warfare. When we are under attack and there's witchcraft being done to us, they're trying to sleep deprive us. That is a tactic that the enemy uses to drain us. So we cannot focus on God's purpose. We cannot focus on the tasks, the assignments that he has given us. It's a distraction, right? But when the enemy knows you're very strong and you're able to conquer all distractions, he will do things with your personal health. So if you notice, a pregnant woman, pregnancy is beautiful, but he used that as an analogy, okay? A pregnant lady, a pregnant woman will go through morning sickness. She may not be able to keep food down. She may be in and out of weight because she's not eating. She's tired all the time. She's drained. And then once the baby starts to grow, there's heaviness. There's pressure on her feet. There's pressure on her arms. You know what I mean? Things may even change about her appearance, because when you're pregnant, things change about your appearance. You'll have a glow to you because pregnancy is joy. Pregnancy is beautiful. It's a joyful time when you're pregnant. So there's a glow to you, right? But although there's a glow to you, there's also changes in your appearance where you may gain some weight on your face, or you may, some people, they break out. Some people, they lose their hair during their pregnancy. So God was explaining to me the analogy of being pregnant and how, we experience similar things as being pregnant with our breakthroughs, and the amount of obstacles that we have to face during being pregnant with our breakthroughs, right? And how we will still have the Holy Spirit glow because God has never left us. He's never forsaken us, and we are still operating through purpose. But at the same time, the signs that we are going through things are still kind of visible. Do you get it? So it's like he was giving me that analogy last night, and then he was letting me know remember how when you're like in the third trimester, right, which is like 7, 8, 9 months, right? It's like you'll start receiving the Braxton hits, which is like the premature contractions. It's not the real thing, but it's like your body's prepping for the real thing. So it's like when you guys go through warfare and you're pregnant with your purpose, you're pregnant with the assignment that God has given, you're pregnant with the blessing, you're pregnant with the breakthrough. It's like you'll go through these Braxton hits where you're like, okay, I feel like something's gonna happen because these attacks are not as bad, but I feel like every day that goes by, they're being turned up a notch. So when you have the Braxton hits as a woman, it's like you feel the contractions. They're not heavy, but you notice that the more and more you get them, they're getting a little bit more heavier and heavier, but it's not the real thing, but it's like you're being prepped. And that's what I mean when I say training. When God says when he is training you, it is like having Braxton hits. It's like your body's being trained to prep you for the real contractions to come through, the real, event to happen, right? So your body's prepping you. So God will allow us to go through these Braxton hits. Like he will allow us to go through little minor warfare before the real warfare comes. And then once the warfare comes, we literally give birth after. And once we give birth, our breakthrough's here. And that's what the devil tries to prevent. He tries to prevent you from giving birth. And what he tries to do is he tries to create a stillbirth. He tries to make you give up on your dreams, give up on your purpose, give up on your plans that God has for your life before you're even able to give birth. So it's almost like if God is giving you an assignment and telling you what to do, and he is like, you are close to your assignment, continue, focus, don't get distracted. And then all of a sudden arrows are coming from everywhere. When your mood shifts, when you're a sensitive child of God and you're sensitive in the spirit, you can feel everything, and you see people consistently attacking you, throwing arrows at you, and you see people literally playing in your face, literally betraying you. You see fake people switching up on you, and it starts to hurt. It starts to hurt. And let me tell you guys something. If you guys understand being sensitive in the spirit, you will understand how someone hurting your feelings will oftentimes, deter you from wanting to complete certain tasks in your day. And that's what I mean when I say it's a manipulative tactic. Someone, messing with your feelings and your emotions and playing with you will make you start to question your faith in God, will make you start to question, like, do I even need to do this, God? Am I even worthy of this? Am I even worthy of your ministry, God? I asked God this question all week. I'm like, am I even worthy of your ministry? I'm like, why'd you even tell me to continue doing this if this was going to happen to me? Like, I had this conversation with God. I'm going to keep it real with you. I've always been transparent on my channel when I go through things. I don't lie when I go through things. I keep it real because the body of Christ needs that. Too many people fake like everything's good, and then when they go through a moment of the full contractions coming in, everyone's looking at them like, oh, your life is falling apart. No. So we as people who are leading, we need prayers too. We go through things too. When I tell you guys certain things and I prophesy to you guys and I give you guys the words, your enemies attack me too. You have to understand that. You see what I'm saying? So we go through stuff too. So, it's like you start to feel sometimes like helpless. You start to feel sometimes like, man, like this is happening to me again. And it hurts your feelings, especially when you know that you've dedicated so much of your time and energy to be there for people, and everything from your heart has always been genuine and pure for people. And then to watch people twist things, manipulate things, add some truth mixed with a lie to try to make themselves look more superior, it starts to get to you. And to see it happening back to back, because a lot of people will say, okay, well, don't pay attention to that. Okay, it's easy if it's just one thing. But when it's happening for a week straight, a month straight, you guys have to understand that any person that is sensitive in the spirit, any person that bleeds, any person that cries, that has emotions, they're going to be hurt, right? But the thing that the enemy wants is the enemy wants that hurt to deter you from the mission and the calling that God has placed in your life, right? And that is a test. The test is, okay, while I'm going through my main contractions, the big contractions, and now I'm about to push, I can't give up. I have to boss up through it. I gotta push this baby out. You get what I'm saying? So what the enemy will try to do is he will try to get you to give up before you even get to your major contractions. And then he'll use the major contractions, the real deal that comes in, to try to break you. And that's what God was telling me last night. He specifically said, they're trying to break you. That's what he said. And then he encouraged me after and showed me some things that uplifted me. So I'm sharing this with you guys because the analogy he shared with me and the things that he told me, everything just started to make sense. And I started to realize, oh my gosh, it's the truth. Because not only is the truth, because God doesn't lie, because I definitely heard his voice say all that, but it's the fact that I noticed while I was blessing people, I was getting emails, I was getting phone calls, I was getting messages from people who were contacting me and prophesying to me about the greatness that God has in my life. And I'm like, how come everybody's seeing this but me? And then when God revealed everything to me, I was like, it makes so much sense. So I want to just say to anyone that is going through this, the Lord told me to share this with you because he said, you are due, and you would have already received your confirmation from him. You are due. And when you are due, best believe the contractions are going to hit any time. Let me tell you the difference between you are due and you're about to give birth. You are due means you already have your 9 months. 9 months going into 10 months. You can go through the heavy contractions at any time, because when you're in your last trimester and you're at the last stage, any day the baby can come. It means you're due. The baby can come any day. That means your blessing can come any day. But it also means the contractions are going to come in heavy any day. And that is your major test. And the contractions come in right before you have to push. Do you get what I'm saying? So when God says you are due, it means any day now your breakthrough is coming in. Any day now that blessing is coming in. But it's not going to come without the contractions. It's going to come with the contractions. And then you're going to push, and then you're going to give life to the promise that God has promised you. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.